Hello guys, welcome back to a video on the channel, and today I'm going to be doing my Premier League game week 5 predictions on Super Brew app. It's going to be mad. I'm excited for it. It's going to be a fun one. Should we start off with the first game? As you can see, Fulham versus Brighton. As you can see on the table right there, Fulham currently sit 11th and Brighton sit 4th. Brighton are having an absolute corker of a season, currently sitting 4th, 10 points already out of a possible 12. What a start from Brighton, beating Leeds in their last game. Beating Leeds 1-0 in their last game. Absolutely crucial. I think this game definitely going to be an interesting one. Both teams who, we thought were going to have not bad season, but not a fantastic season. And I thought Brighton do all right. I didn't see Fulham doing too well, but literally just losing to Arsenal, making them go from behind to beat Fulham. It was a Mitrovic goal, and later on Arsenal won against Fulham, but Brighton on the other hand just look phenomenal. Honestly, Brighton look fantastic, and you can tell this Brighton team is good. You can tell. They beat Leeds. They literally just beat Leeds 1-0. So huge result for both teams. I think Fulham, at home, I'd still think could have the edge. It's tough because Brighton look very good, but so do Fulham. Fulham just look fantastic as well. I'm gonna go 2-1 Brighton. I'm just gonna edge Brighton here. It's not been an easy one. It's very close. It's very close between these two sides, and I think Brighton will just have enough to win. Moving on to Crystal Palace versus Brentford, and looking at the table right now, Brentford looking all right, sitting in 10th, with Crystal Palace sitting in 12th. So interesting, Crystal Palace just lost to Man City 4-2. They were 2-0 up, and they bottled a 2-0 lead, which I think most fans were pretty disappointed about, especially with it being Man City. So Brentford 10th, Palace 12th. It's going to be a very interesting game. 1 point separates these two sides. Fulham in between them. Palace, 1 win, 1 draw, 2 losses. One of them was to Man City, of course, and with Brentford, 1 win, 2 draws, and 1 loss. So Brentford have just got the extra draw over Crystal Palace. So it's hard to separate these two sides. Palace are at home, so they technically have that advantage, and I don't know if it'll play out or be like a big thing, but definitely it's going to be interesting. I think Palace could do it. Yeah, I'm going to go 2-0 to Crystal Palace. They just have enough, don't they? Crystal Palace are a very strong side, and I think they just have enough over Brentford. Actually, I need to put some respect on this Brentford team. 2-1. No, actually, it's so tight between a goal or no goal. How many goals they scored this season? Let's see. They scored goals for 9. Yeah, they'll score. Make it their 10th goal. Might as well. 2-1 for me for Palace. Moving on to Southampton versus Chelsea. Chelsea just getting a huge 2-1 win over Leicester after a 3-0 loss to Leeds. You've got to, try and bounce back. A huge 2-1, but they're missing Gallagher for this game. So Conor Gallagher he can't play. But it's good for Sterling's confidence to get a double, especially as an England fan. I really want Sterling to perform at Chelsea before the World Cup. So before November. I really want him to perform, so I'm really glad he gets a double here, and he's the reason why Chelsea get all 3 points. Southampton, just losing 1-0 to Manchester United and Man U. 2-2 on the bounce. We'll get into them later, but they're looking decent. Southampton, though, form-wise, not fantastic. 13th right now, 1 win, 1 draw, 2 losses. And with Chelsea moving themselves into 6th with 2 wins, 1 draw, and 1 loss, which was to Leeds, of course. But honestly, Chelsea, they need to try and climb themselves into that top 4, and I think they could with a huge win here. I think Southampton, they look decent. They got a huge bounce back win over Leicester. I think it was Shea Adams' masterclass. So Shea Adams can get his form back for this game. I don't think Southampton will score. I think it'll be a comfortable 3-0 win for Chelsea. I just don't see them really struggling, worrying about this game. I think Chelsea just got it in the bag here. It's tough. It's going to be a good game. I can all know that for sure. I think Chelsea can get all 3 points away at Southampton. Moving on to the next game, which is, if I can do that, Leeds United versus Everton. And both teams, Leeds lost against Brighton and Brentford Everton drew to Brentford. So both teams not winning last week. I think Everton are not looking good. I think they're in a relegation zone, if I'm not wrong. Yeah, 18th. Two points in 4 games, which is absolutely horrible form. They've scored 3 goals all season, so you can see the lack of chances, lack of creativity, lack of clinicalness. I think they're missing DCL with Sol Richardson, and they're really relying on Demarai Gray to do something. And Gordon, those people don't like Gordon, but they're relying on Gordon to do something. And they did go 1-0 up in the 24th minute, and they just conceded an 84th minute equaliser from Vitali Janaut. Oh my God, Janelle, what his name is. But yeah, Everton are looking horrendous. 18th, 2 points, 1 point off safety. I think they could survive just due to teams around them are just not great. But Everton is going to be such a tight season again this season. They just don't look very good this season, do they, Everton? They're carrying from last season. I said Frank Lampard won't be a good manager. What did I say? He's just not a good manager. And this Everton side could go down. They need to pick up a point or win over Leeds, who were high flying until they lost to this Brighton side. And yeah, it's not looking great for Brighton at all. Leeds even. I meant Leeds. They just don't look great, do they? Something's going on with Leeds. And they were really good. I'm waffling. They were really good. 1 point, 1 loss here and there is fine, but they're 5th right now. Leeds, something is going on with Leeds, and it's a good thing for Leeds. I think Aronson looks good, Rodrigo looks good. I think it was between 2 teams who are just overperforming, Brighton and Leeds. Overperforming teams, and it 1-0. It just was always a very close game, and Pascal Grob with with a brilliant goal to separate these 2 sides. And Leeds Everton, especially Leeds at home, there's 1 winner, and that's Leeds. It's going to be a comfortable 2-0 win for Leeds. I just don't see Everton. I don't know what's going on with Everton. I just don't see Everton really performing this season, and I think it's going to be not as good as a surprise. I don't think it's going to be that good of a season for Everton. I think it possibly could go down. It's that far. Moving on to Bournemouth versus Wolves. Bournemouth. What happened at the weekend? What happened? They got beaten by a better side. But 9-0. It's just not that great, is it? Bournemouth absolutely dominated from start to finish. 19 shots to Bournemouth's 5. 12 on target to Bournemouth's 2. 70% possession to Bournemouth's 30. We'll get into it more with Liverpool, we'll get more of the happy side for Liverpool stuff. But yeah, Bournemouth look dreadful. they look relegation battlers. They look relegation. They look like they're going to get relegated. They look poor. They have no real personality. They don't have really any lack of creativity. Their lineup is just championship level. Like Travers is alright. The back line is just pure championship. Cook is like 30. Lerma, like 30. Tavernier looks good. Tavernier looks good. Christie looks decent. Anthony looks decent. And Moore looks alright. I think their front four looks good. If they can get a few, goals coming, I think they look good. But on the bench, they have barely anyone. Is that the Neto I'm thinking? No, that's not the Neto I'm thinking. I thought Neto from Wolves had joined Bournemouth. Yeah, but they have Solanke off the bench. They have a few players off the but this Bournemouth team just looks just wasteful, poor, lack of creativity. As I said, lack of just lack of stuff they need to do in the Prem to survive, and they're just not hitting the jackpot. And moving on to Wolves with a 1-1 draw over Newcastle today. They could have got all 3 points, but that man, ASM at Newcastle again, saving them once again. Newcastle look brilliant. Wolves still in the relegation zone. They're 19th right now. They do not look good, Wolves. At home to Newcastle is a tough match. To get a point is good. It's a good point. It's a strong point, and it's a good point for Wolves. Ruben Neves, but they just lack creativity. They lack goals. They can create the chances. They just don't have that clinical edge, and they can get like a prolific goal scorer, because Jimenez was a prolific goal scorer. After the head injury, everything's changed. And rightly so, it's a head injury. It's hard to come back from that. And they just need another striker who can just come in. Not Wangy Chan. Not their Silva, the 18-year-old. Sign a proper striker will do decent in the Prem. And buy him. Get some goals. Because defensively, they're not bad. Semedo, Collins, Kilman and Castro, that's not a bad back line. They just need something in the front, in the goal scoring edge to just do something. And honestly, they look woeful in front of goal. They've scored 2 goals all season and they conceded 4. They concede so many. They don't concede that many goals, but they score so little. It's like Preston in the Championship. They score barely any, but they don't concede. And Wolves is a Preston in the Prem, and I think they will win this game. It won't be a Liverpool. It'll be 2-0 because it is Bournemouth. It won't be a Liverpool. Bournemouth won't get absolutely humbled because Wolves are just not that sort of team. Wolves win this. They could have a chance to go up to about 15th probably. Something like that. But yeah, this Wolves team just looks one of the worst I've ever seen them, and that's saying something. No wins, 2 draws and 2 losses. It's just not looking great. Moving on to the next game, which is, as I can go down, Arsenal versus Aston Villa. Aston Villa, they lost to West Ham today. And I was like, if you lose West Ham, you're terrible. And Villa are just not brilliant. Villa fans wanting Gerrard sacked. Villa fans are just not proud and not happy with the way they play. The lack of creativity, the lack of goals. 3 goals all season says for it all. 7 conceded. A bit of lack of discipline at the back. Lack of good defending at the back. Lack of clinicalness in when they get the chance to shoot or score. Lack of that for Villa. It's just looking at the doghouse, and it's early on in the season. So if you sack Steven Gerrard, it's going to be a bit. I don't know. It's a bit dodgy if you sack Stevie G already. He's got all his players in. You have a decent end to the season. You want your new players to come in. You bought your new players. You got Coutinho on a permanent. You got Diego Carlos, Kamara, and it's unlucky that Diego Carlos is out for the rest of the season. But you've got to make do. You've got to try and maybe sign a backup centre back or try and rely on Mings and Konsa to do something. But this Villa side just Cash, Konsa, Chambers, Digne. That's not a bad back line, and they're still conceding way too many. They want to be top 10, right? You can't get top 10 with that. You can't get top 10 with that, and that's just saying something. You can't get top 10 with that. Kamara, McGinn, Louise, Kamara, McGinn, that's a good midfield. Coutinho, Watkins, Ings, that's a good up front. They've got really good players. It's tactically is what's going on here. Tactically, it's just not working. And this West Ham definitely parked the bus with a 3-5-2. So pretty much a 5 back. They parked the bus at Villa Park and got a win. It's just brilliant stuff from West Ham. Honestly, brilliant stuff. They get the result. Pablo Fornals just gets the result. But this team just doesn't look fantastic. You have Emi Buendia, Leon Bailey, Jacob Ramsey, all on the bench. Like, I've got Leon Bailey in my FPL. I really want Leon Bailey to do well. It's just, it's lack of creativity. But moving on to this Arsenal side, the only team with 100%, 3 teams with unbeaten, but still, only team unbeatable. They could go invincible. And look at Villa at home, I think that's another win for the Arsenal. And the Gunners just keep on gunning. They keep on going. And they're just a fantastic side, aren't they, Arsenal? You just look at them and they think, bang, what a team. What a team this Arsenal team is. Coming back from behind against Fulham, it was a shock when they were 1-0 down. But Gabriel and Odegaard with the 2 goals. I'm so glad Saka got the assist, man, for I think it's the Odegaard goal. Good from FPL. I haven't really mind this FPL. I've got 69 points. Brilliant. Alright, so this Arsenal team, they look good. They look very strong. Gabriel Jesus is fantastic. I know he didn't really contribute, but he probably did. But Gabriel Jesus, he didn't score or get an assist. This presence is just fantastic. And Gabriel Jesus is lighting up the Prem at Arsenal. What a signing it has been. For me, it's just a comfortable 3-0 for Arsenal. I just don't see this Villa side really dominating this game. I see just Arsenal from the front. I think Gabriel Jesus will get maybe a goal or 2. And I just think this Villa side need to work on something. Maybe this is their game where they surprise it and win. I don't know. It's going to be tough, though. It's going to be tough. 4 matches left. This video is going to be a long one. Alright, moving on to Manchester City versus Nottingham Forest. And Man City coming back from behind to beat Palace. I heard on I think it was a pundit, I think it was probably joking around, but saying they're giving teams a head start. And they gave Palace a head start 2-0. And they're just mocking the league and they're just giving teams head starts and just winning the game. It sort of seems like that because that's what they do, don't they? They did it against Newcastle, went 2 goals down, then they came back. They did it against Palace, 2 goals down, now they're 4-2 up. But yeah, what did I say in the prediction? I said a Haaland hat-trick. Yeah, I'm just saying. Gabriel Jesus didn't get a hat-trick, but I wasn't sure about Gabriel Jesus. I was sure of Haaland getting a hat-trick. But yeah, his first goal was decent, his second goal was poachers, and his third goal was just brilliant strength and muscle and just a clinical finish. But Man City, You're not top of the table, are you? You're gonna have to be very strong and stubborn. Nottingham Forest side. It's gonna be a win, isn't it? This Forest side just looks decent. It's 14 to 4 points, averaging a point a game. 1 win, 1 draw, 2 losses. Not bad. Man City 3 wins and a draw. Unbeaten but not yet invincible. They actually are invincible, but they're not they haven't won every game due to Newcastle. But I think Palace could have done a bit better. When you go 2-0 up, you can't just go defensive. You've got to try and go for a third against City. You can't just keep a 2-0 lead, because as soon as they score, they go through the roof, confidence, and then they score again. Bernardo Silva's goal wasn't fantastic. Deflected off a defender and went in. It was just poor. It's not a poor goal to concede, it's just unlucky. But yeah, the City side, Forest losing 2-0 today to Tottenham. Kane double, Kane masterclass. Yeah, not really much to say. Forest don't look fantastic. As to Dean Henderson in goal, looks alright. Worrell, Steve Cook, McKenna, and Nico Williams looks decent. Yates, O'Brien, Toffolo, Gibbs White from Morgan Gibbs White from Sheffield United last season. Brennan Johnson looks good, and Lingard looks alright. But yeah, the Tottenham team, Kane with a double. Come on, Kane. Do it for the World Cup. Perform really well, and get us up for the World Cup, man. I'm actually buzzing for it. Should we get into my score predictions? 4-0 is just being kind. I think Man City just absolutely pummel Forest. You can't shock on Forest to win out, especially maybe at home you may have a case, but away, no. At the Etihad, City will win. If Forest win, I will scream in happiness, because I do not want City to win. But I'm not going to predict, because I don't like City. I'm not going to predict them to lose. They will win. They should win anyway. I'm moving on to West Ham versus Tottenham. West Ham finally get a win, and they are outside of the relegation zone. They've scraped themselves with points on the board. 1 win, 3 losses. A big win over Aston Villa. Villa away is a big win. You can't lie. And this West Ham side just look, what's the word? They just don't look fantastic. They look decent. Not all too they're not crazy, West Ham. But it's Villa side. No, well, Tottenham look on the other hand brilliant. 3rd place right now, 2 points off first. 9 goals scored. That's only 4 off City, 4 off Liverpool. This side looks good, doesn't it, Tottenham? And West Ham, on the other hand, don't look fantastic. Yeah, 1-0 win over what I said, a poor Villa side. Poor management from Stevie G. I don't think it's going to be all too brilliant. But moving on to the West Ham Tottenham, I think West Ham could get a goal from a Fornals, maybe even a Bowen. But Kane will just have a masterclass. He won't score 3. I think it'll be a Kane double and Son to get his first goal of the season. He hasn't scored yet, has he? No, he hasn't. He didn't score. So yeah, it's not been brilliant for Tottenham, but for Son even. But yeah, Kane masterclass. Son to get his confidence up again. West Ham again slumber. They just don't look fantastic. Moving on to Liverpool versus Newcastle. The score 9-0 over Bournemouth. Fantastic. This is the last game of the Darwin Núñez suspension. This is the last game. But 3 goals, the 3 assists and 2 goals. The one and only Roberto Firmino. What a player. What a player. To get, let alone 2 assists in a game. To get 3, a hat-trick of assists, and then get 2 goals for yourself. Brilliant. Trent with an absolute screamer. And it's just looking really, really good for Liverpool. Bournemouth, on the other hand, just look a bit. They are just very sloppy. Newcastle, with a 1-1 draw over Wolves. I don't think it's a result they want, but definitely an interesting result. I think Newcastle, they look decent, Newcastle. But yeah, Newcastle, strong result here. Strong game. I'm going to go. I think Liverpool just have enough. The confidence will be rising above the limits for Liverpool. They're home again. They'll be rocking. They had a shaky start. We're getting the Liverpool back. And I can say that for sure. It's going to be a 3-2 Liverpool win. It's going to be an absolute brilliant win for Liverpool. A huge win. And I think Diaz and Salah, funny enough, had a really poor game against Bournemouth. No goals, no assists. And then 9-0 when Salah wasn't even involved. That's not great for Salah. But Salah will get a goal here. I'll leave the Bournemouth game behind. That will be 12 goals in 2 games for Liverpool. That's averaging 6 a game. That's unbelievable. Moving on to the last game, Leicester City versus Manchester United. Leicester's woes continue. A 2-1 loss to Chelsea. And Chelsea had 10 men for pretty much, they had 62 minutes plus added on time with an extra man. And they still lost. And yeah, it's Sterling double. Harvey Barnes got on a score sheet for Leicester, which is good for him. But yeah, last 1 point all season. And that was the first game against Brentford when they went 2-0 up and they conceded two goals. It's looking shaky. It's looking very, very shaky for Leicester. Man United, on the other hand, a huge 1-0 win over Southampton. That's 2 wins in a row. This Leicester side isn't brilliant. Man United are finally showing what they can do. Sancho, I really want him to do well. I want Rashford and Sancho to do well for the World Cup. I want them two to do proper well, really, really well. James Maddison, I do want to do well as well. Maybe he can get a call up. But yeah, it's going to be a Man United 2-0 win. United they just look brilliant. They look brilliant. Moving on to the pickup summary, your pick summary. As you can see on the score, I'll give you 5 seconds to have a look. The standout ones there, so 3-0 Chelsea, 4-0 City, 3-2 Liverpool, 2-0 Leeds, Brighton will win, Palace, Leeds, Wolves, Arsenal, City, Tottenham, Liverpool and United. They were the winners. Continue. Let's see. See in a second. I'll see my face in a second. There we go. So that's all it is. That wraps up the video. Don't forget to like, subscribe, hit the notification bell. And that went on for way too long. How long did that go on for? 28 minutes. Alright. See you guys in the next one. Bye.